Welcome to the Sam and Jo VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to create your very own in-demand virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Jo, and get ready to have the control, flexibility and freedom you've always dreamed of. Welcome to episode 3, Meet Jo Jensen. Hi, Jo.
Hi, Sam.
We're turning the tables today, and I'm going to be asking you some questions. Makes a change, huh? We're going to find out all about your journey to become the really successful virtual assistant agency owner that you've become. So let's start by your why. Why did you get into the virtual assistant business?
I actually didn't realize it was a virtual assistant business when I first started. So why I started it is because I was on maternity leave with my son and realized that I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mum. And after about 3 months, I started to really, what could I be doing that, would allow me to have the flexibility around my son and not have to drive or commute to my Wellington City job. So I live 40 minutes north of Wellington City, where my old job was. And I just didn't want to do that long day with a small child. So I realized that, I wanted to do something. And so 6 months after he was born, I had a business partner back then. We started Strictly Savvy. Back then it was called Personal Assistant Solutions. And that's the reason why I started. But then the reason why I'm in business now is because I love knowing that providing that sort of service to a business owner can completely change their life.
Yeah.
So they don't have to work at night. They don't have to feel overwhelmed and stressed. We can take things off their plate. But also, most business owners don't really know all of the tools, apps, ways to streamline things, way to stop doing manual processes. So I love that part of being a virtual assistant and offering those services where we can just completely change how a business is run and make it way more efficient.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's so fulfilling, and to be adding so much value to our clients' lives is just the best. It really is. Yeah. So at what point did you decide that you were going to be an agency rather than just the two of you?
Right from the start. Right from the start. Very early on when we started, so we would do lots of networking. We would go to every networking event that we could possibly find and meet as many business owners as we could. And we realized that as we started bringing on clients, it was really snowballing. So it wasn't even like we decided that we would want to grow an agency. It's just naturally we both knew that was the next step without even speaking about it. So we wanted to be the ones who were selling and running the business rather than delivering the work to our clients. So we hired early on, and then as we grew, we just kept hiring, just bring on more and more clients, and it just really snowballed.
So when did this start? How long ago are we talking?
So this was 2012, so coming up 8 years in business now.
Awesome. And how big's your team now? What size are you guys?
So we have a team of, I want to say 10 New Zealanders, and we also have some global contractors as well. So 5 of them. So about 15 VAs.
That's amazing. That's so cool. When did you go international with it?
2017, I think it was. Yeah, we just knew that there was because the world has shrunk so much now, and with internet and technology, the borders are just not there. And we realized that there was a whole lot of highly skilled people all around the world that we could tap into. And so that's what we did. We realized that it would be a great model going forward, and we could get the best people with, great skills. So we made that a couple of years ago, that decision to do that.
That's
and so
awesome.
They support our team members with whatever the team members need their help with, and then provide the service to the client. All of our team members in New Zealand are client facing, with our global team supporting in the background.
What would you say is your biggest learning in the past however many years it's been?
Oh, trust your gut. My gosh. Don't ignore the red flags. When a potential client, this is probably the major one where I've made a mistake. If a potential client is questioning your terms and questioning a very specific term where they would be charged interest for any, overdue accounts. Questioning that, I should have realized that they were planning or are often late payers. And so I should have realized. But yeah, at one point they owed us $15,000. Yeah, it was not good. I ended up getting all of it. But yeah, it was a big lesson that it just takes so much time and effort when there are plenty of other clients who are more than willing to pay on time, and have the business model of set up so that they can pay on time.
So we see this a little bit, actually, not necessarily with that size amounts, but we hear it all the time within our virtual assistant community. Oh, I've got this, consistently late payer. I don't know whether it's worth me chasing. Should I just cut my losses? So when you were chasing that amount of money, did you do it yourself or did you get a professional person to come in and help you?
That one, we did it ourselves because they were still our client and they were quite a large client and they were quite a large business. We knew that they eventually could pay and would pay. So yeah, it's a hard decision that virtual assistants make because it's like, do you cut them off completely and then risk getting no money, or do you keep working with them to try and help them through it and not cut off too early? And yeah, it's a fine balance. And now we do it far earlier because we realize that the longer you leave it, the worse it gets. So yeah, we do it far earlier.
So another lesson there is don't let it get up to that amount.
No.
If you have got a late payer.
Definitely not. No. They definitely chase people for it's not their money, it's your money. And so if you try and reframe it like that, it's not like you're they're doing you a favor by paying the money. No, it's actually your money. They've made an agreement, you've delivered the work. It's your money that they're holding on to. They're using you like a bank, and that's not okay. So definitely follow it up. And if they can't pay, then help them figure out how they can pay. Do they need to pay weekly? Do they need to pay it off? Work out a payment plan with them.
Great advice. We have a lot of people obviously approach us that are just starting out in the virtual assistant world or are just thinking about it and want to know more about it. What's your number one piece of advice to those that are thinking about starting a virtual assistant business, especially in this current climate as well?
Yeah, two things. Sorry, can I do two pieces of advice?
Yeah, I'll let you.
One is to consistently take imperfect action. So just little baby steps, just keep progressing just a little bit at a time and just keep that going. That's how you have a successful business, by keeping the progress going. The second one is do the things that generate revenue. So we talk about this a lot, Sam. If you don't have any clients, that's what you need to be focusing on as early as possible. You don't need the website. You don't need all the social media accounts. You don't need a lot of stuff to actually get that first client to come in. And so, yeah, my advice to those just starting out is to focus in on the direct contact stuff. So getting in touch with people that are already in your network and letting them know what you're doing now. Past employers and colleagues, just reach out to people, spread the word, let them know, but do it in a direct contact way where you're actually sending a single message to a single person, not bulk emails or anything like that.
Yeah, it's so simple, isn't it? And I think it's really, really overlooked. And, we tell everybody this, networking, that, reach out to the people you already know, number one thing. But I think because it is such a simple piece of advice, a lot of people, I don't know whether they just don't believe us, that it could be that easy. What do you think?
I think people are stepping out of their comfort zone by doing it, because you are now needing to say, I'm a business owner and this is what I'm doing now, and actually owning that is quite scary for some people. So yeah, our advice is that the more you do it, the more you step outside your comfort zone. It's like, stretching a rubber band. Your comfort zone's like a rubber band. If you just keep stretching it, it eventually actually stays and gets bigger and bigger. And so that comfort zone, then the things that you feel comfortable doing is a lot more the more you practice getting outside your comfort zone.
Now I personally think you're really good at selling yourself, selling your business, promoting the virtual assistant community. Have you always kind of had that? Is that a natural ability, or is that something that you've really worked hard at?
Definitely worked hard at. And I don't really, I have a very low negative self-talk, which really helps. So, and I've taught myself to really own what I'm doing and know that I'm good at what I do. And especially in selling, if you can switch your mindset to like, oh, I'm selling to people, which feels icky, and actually and frame it as like, I'm actually helping people. They've got a problem. I'm delivering a solution, and it actually helps their business and benefits them. So I'm just helping people feels a lot nicer than I'm selling to people.
It does. It does. Not as
Like with the
yucky.
members club. I love selling the members club and talking about the members club because we can see how many people benefit from the advice and help and resources and tools and everything that we have there for them, and all the feedback that we get. Like, I just keep that all in the back of my mind when I'm talking about the members club, because I know that it really helps people and I believe in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, for people who are selling their virtual assistant services, as long as you believe in what you're doing and really believe that you're capable of helping people, then yeah, you should have no trouble talking about it as well, as long as you've framed it that way.
Yeah, and as soon as other people hear that kind of passion and enthusiasm in your voice, I think it's contagious, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And that breeds confidence. And if people
Mhm.
see that confidence, they're like, yeah, I want to work with this person. Why wouldn't I? She's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The tentativeness and the like, I hear women saying it all the time when they talk about their business, and they say, oh, it's just a little business, or it's just a wee business, using that just word where you're like not really owning it and putting yourself out there. It's if we can avoid using those types of words and just, this is what I'm doing now, this is how I help people, and having that confidence and, like you say, that passion in your voice. And people are like, oh wow, okay, I want to get involved in this. How can you help me?
It's such a mindset thing.
Mm.
And I think you just touched on it a little bit. Women, I think, struggle with this in particular. And a lot of people coming into the virtual assistant world, not all of them, but a lot of them are mums like you and I were, young mums looking for something else to do. And they may have had a really rough 6 months, year leading up to that. So they're not necessarily kind of themselves or the person they were before getting pregnant, are they? What's your advice, in terms of confidence and mindset for those that probably are coming in feeling a little bit lost and maybe haven't found themselves?
Surround yourself with other people who are successful, and it just feeds you. Talk to people that lift you up. Talk to people that have done something successful that you would like to do, and surround yourself with those people. And it just helps feed that for you as well.
It's so true. And what's that saying? I'm never good at remembering saying.
You're the average of the 5 people you
That's
spend the
it.
most time with, something like that.
That's it. And it is so, so true. Yeah. Love it.
But when we see it in the members club. So
Mm.
those who come into the members club and surround themselves with other like VAs who are in the same boat, and we see people posting in there when they've completed one of the like steps that we have, and celebrating in there, it just helps with momentum. So find your tribe, find your community, find people to be around that you want to be like, and
I love that. I love that. Now, looking back, is there anything you do differently?
Oh, differently. Yeah, not grow too fast was definitely a big lesson. I didn't realize, being a naive business owner, the first time I've been in business, that you think like, oh, growing, bringing in more clients, like, oh, so the money and cash flow is going to be there. But what we don't realize, or what I didn't realize, is that as you grow and you bring on team members, you're paying team members every week, but you're not billing your clients until later on. And then they have, another 20 days and they pay you. So there's this like working capital is what it's called, this in between money that you need to have available to be able to actually support that growth. So that was a big lesson for me. I was hiring 2 at a time.
Wow.
At one stage, and that was just not a good idea.
So just slow down.
Learning from that, we put people on a wait list. So clients coming on board, they were on a wait list, and then we would just hire like gradually and bring new team members on that way. And we also started invoicing at the first of the month in advance. so that we
Yeah.
could get the money early on and then be able to pay our team members.
In terms of those that are listening that are at that point and they think, right, I've been doing the freelancing for a little while, I've got lots of client queries coming through, I'm probably at that stage now where I want to grow my team. Any advice, like in terms of how do you pick the right team member? How do you know?
Oh, don't worry, I've made many mistakes of team members, and then and made some amazing hires. And right now, I feel like I've got the best team that I've ever had. Yeah, amazing team members, and they've been around for a while now. They know how to deliver the service, and yeah. So, advice for growing the team. First, make sure that you are the right personality type, have the diligence, have the confidence to be able to manage people, and make sure it's the right decision for you. Because if you're technically really good, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a really good manager of people. And that's essentially what you'll become, a manager of people. So make sure that you're really wanting to do that, because there's other ways to improve your profitability and make more money as a freelancer, and really specializing and increasing your rates and all sorts of things that you can do. You don't have to grow a team to be able to make more money. So yeah, definitely choosing the right people is key. So doing a really proper, thorough recruitment process, if that's the track that you want to go down, and definitely encourage people to hire contractors to come onto their team if they're wanting to grow, rather than employees necessarily, especially if you're not experienced in hiring. And there's a whole lot of compliance that come with employees, and the way that virtual assistant businesses are set up, it's completely fine, and meets all the criteria for whether someone's a contractor or an employee. Hiring contractors as virtual assistants is completely within the rules, and a totally viable way to grow your team.
How have you? I mean, you've been around a while. Probably in the New Zealand virtual assistant community, you're one of the kind of the old gals, I guess. I mean that in the nicest possible way, of course. How have you seen the virtual assistant industry change, especially here in New Zealand during that time?
Well, like I said earlier, I didn't know that there was a virtual assistant industry around. We sort of just fell into that category. We thought, well, let's just start delivering services to businesses that, we can use the internet and tools and things like that. And then realized that there was this virtual assistant industry. So yeah, when we started, there was probably around like three other major virtual assistants around that were visible. And then, once we started, we were doing lots of online presence stuff. Yeah, we just started seeing like new virtual assistants coming on board like all the time, which is really cool. And love that we have such a thriving VA industry now. And so awesome, Sam, that you created the directory and the network now. And I feel like before it was everyone was very separate. And now I feel like we're really bringing virtual assistants together, not as competitors, but as, people supporting other people in business, which is really nice to see. So I feel like, there's definitely a community aspect to the virtual assistant industry now.
I'm loving it. And, hearing so many people saying, oh, I don't feel so alone now. I mean, that's just wonderful, isn't it? It's just great.
Yeah. And I think we're seeing more and more VAs specialized too. So there's a lot of people doing really specific things like you have, Sam, with your websites for Squarespace. So yeah, I think that's a cool direction, and I hope that we continue doing that, where there's people who are really well known for certain things that they do. Yeah, because it's all about specializing.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing an increase in that, which is great, because as you touched on, it's you then put yourself in a position where you can ask for more money, can't you? You can up that hourly rate or up your packages. So how do you see Strictly Savvy growing? How do you see it in the future? Where do you see it in like 5 years down the track?
Oh, 5 years. That's hard, 5 years. If I look back at what happened in 8 years, like I could never have predicted all of the changes that we've gone through. But now, so we just got rid of our office lease, and now we're all working from home, which is a big change for us. But we were completely set up for it. It was really easy to go home, and we had a really solid team. They all knew each other, had built a great culture, and so now we can continue that on with everyone working at home. We've actually purchased a container pod, which is like a 17 square meter office where we have a few people working at a time so that people can rotate around and have some time at home, some time in the pod, which I think would be really cool, because I do want to make sure that we have that like connection, that like in-person connection, and lots of hugs and things like that we always do.
When we're allowed to hug again.
Yeah, we've started hugging now. Hope that's okay, but yeah, we've started hugging now. And yeah, so I feel like we'll probably continue on that path. I really want to grow our global team, so have Strictly Savvy more global. And yeah, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say, but I think we'll keep growing. We want to really keep that like leading VA agency thing going that we have in New Zealand, and keep it at the forefront. Yeah.
I've got one last question for you, Jo, and that is, what is the thing that you just love most about the virtual assistant world and community?
About the world and community. Oh,
it's a tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one. I'm a real tools and apps person. So I love that the virtual assistant industry, like I can learn from so many people in the community about these new tools that pop up and just like streamlining and efficiency. I just absolutely love that. So I love learning from everyone else who, you know, when they come across new tools and they post stuff about them, I love checking them out and seeing how we can do things differently and keep improving. Yeah, I love improving things and streamlining even further.
You really are a tech queen, as I like to call you. Jo, thank you so much. I think you're a real inspiration to so many virtual assistants and a leader in the industry. So thank you for all you do for everybody.
Oh, thanks so much, Sam. Thanks to everyone for listening to this episode of the Sam and Jo VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the Savvy School website to check out the amazing members club and find more free resources.
You can find us at savvyschool.co.nz.